Welcome to the Emo Social Club podcast, broadcasting to you live from emosocialclub.tv. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here this evening with our new friend and Loveless, Julian. Thank you so much for hanging with us tonight. You are our last September guest. We love it.
That's so
right at the date cutoff.
It's my birthday month, so you guys
Ooh.
picked
Hell yeah.
the perfect time.
We have you on. Well, I'll let you introduce everything. I do just want to say before we start, like, Sorry I'm a Downer is a bop, and I really like it. And
Thank you.
I'd already heard it like before, like we got a little like, you know, secret little first
preview.
take. Yeah. But I listened to it again today just to refresh it. And I'm like, yeah, damn, this is a bop. This is a damn bop. So we've got you on, I think, mostly to chat about that. But why don't you introduce yourself and your band and all that good stuff?
Oh yeah, hi, I'm Julian from Loveless. I sing and play a little bit of guitar, and then we also have Dylan, who kind of just fills out the other elements. He's not here right now. He's probably golfing right now. I work him very hard, so he deserves a golfing break every once in a while. And then we put out a record in June, our like debut, and that was pretty cool. And now we're just back to the regularly scheduled posting a song and just keeping them rolling. I make music so fast that it's impossible for us to like sit on an album for like 6 months. We have to start doing something again because my Dropbox is full. I have to put them out.
I'm not paying for more storage, so let's put it out.
You're like, this is it. This is all we give. The free storage, it's all gone. Come on, guys.
I'm paying the monthly. It's filling it up.
What? How are you making so much music? I guess like.
Well, this is my bed, and then this is my recording setup. I wish my webcam was working so that I could flip it around and kind of show you guys. But I have like a preamp, and I have like 5 guitars, and I write all day. It's something that I just enjoy doing. I never really thought about it. I feel like I used to wish I could come up with the ideas that were in my head. And now that I know how, it's like I can't stop. It's impossible. Like once you know the basics of how to craft a song, it does feel a bit like, you know, just going and doing your job for the day if you go and sit down and write a song. And that's kind of the fun in it is it's not a 9 to 5, but it is work, but it's also this like creative experience. So you can have a lot of fun with it, and you can play around with, you know, I have to get this done. I am giving myself 6 hours to work on a song today, but within those 6 hours, I might be messing around for most of it. Like I think 90% of how I come up with vocals is me stepping up to the mic and being like, da, 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 da. And that might work. Cool. And then carry on. So there's very little time that I'm not working. That's how I write so fast and so often.
That's awesome. I'm very in awe of just somebody who's like pouring out like just pouring it out of them. Like, damn, I just do a podcast, you know?
Oh my God.
Hey, well, that's tough too. I think that's the thing that's been hardest for us is sticking to a regiment and really like putting stuff out regularly, because you have to for the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't care if your songs are amazing. I mean, it likes to say it does, but it's about content. It's about feeding that machine. And so
that's the scariest
finding a way to do
it.
Finding a way to do it like without getting sick of it is like always a good sign. So
where are you bringing your inspiration from like so continuously is like my other idea, because I feel like you can only write about certain topics so much until you're like, all right, I've beaten this horse. It's dead. It's in the ground. It's game over. What's next?
Yeah, no, that is hard. But I always talk about just what's going on in my head. And I think if it's not boring to me yet, then hopefully it's not boring to everybody else. Like a lot of our songs kind of start out as being like written about a girl or written about like, you know, wanting to like break a vice or something like that. And from there, they kind of evolve into whatever I'm feeling that specific day. So there are times when it's like I'm writing a song about a girl, and by the end I'm like, this is a song about a cigarette. You know, like this is a song about like wanting to like start running. Like you're like,
it's a metaphor.
Yeah, it's always a metaphor. That's how you do it. That's how you. I guess that's my answer. Is I write about the same three things and then just find the metaphor.
Just change it after the fact.
Yeah, I just tell you guys afterwards. Like, no, this song, totally new idea.
Guys, you think I'm talking about girls all the time? Silly, ridiculous.
Come on.
I was actually thinking
sometimes it's about boys.
There we go. See, we got to switch it up.
There you go.
I was thinking that the other day because I just listened to the new Sleep Token record. And I was like, I know that their first record was about Alzheimer's, which I can't say correctly, but Alzheimer's. And like they were like, the whole record is like kind of that storyline of like a person, you know, loose storyline about a person who's going through it and their experience, and like probably a bit of like a personal story about how they watch somebody deteriorate and all that kind of stuff. But like they still sound like love songs, right? But you know that like that love isn't like for a person, or it's not like pining after somebody. And it like puts it in this whole weird context when you say it's about Alzheimer's. So like the love you're experiencing and the thing that you're experiencing with that person is like bringing them back from like forgetting who you are. And I'm like, oh shit, that's even darker than anything else. That's so crazy. But like you can just like switch it up so easily like that. And if you never heard the record, if you didn't know what it was about and you heard this song, you go, oh man, he's like really missing that girl. It's like,
like you thought, you bet.
Well, really missing that lady, I guess we should say.
Yeah.
You know, or grandpa, you know, we never know. We don't know the, dare I assume.
Yeah. Not assuming anything, but yeah, it's just, it's putting your like, and I'm going to repeat this from chat because I saw it now and I already said I wouldn't do that, but it's inserting, the audience member is asserting themselves into the song. Alice is so mad at me for taking her question and putting it in here. How dare you, Alice?
He's a question stealer.
It's a good question, or it's a good thought.
It's a great question.
Yeah. So like if you're writing something and whatever it's about, it's like someone is going to take this on anyway. So in a way, it's like kind of freeing to put whatever it means for you in there, and then just like, and I go, hey, it's yours now. Like, what do you think it's about?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, gosh, I mean, I wrote so many songs on this record about like a girl I had a crush on in high school who like doesn't know I exist anymore. I'm sure of it. But like, cause this was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But she was like my first love. So like, whenever I like picture like somebody to sing about, it was always her. And so there are definitely like 4 or 5 songs that are about this girl, but like, I don't know what she does like during the day. Like, I don't know anything about like how we would interact as people anymore. So there's like, I have to kind of take liberties, and it might've started as like, I'm singing about this girl, but then like halfway through, like someone else became about myself. It was about those like sleepless nights where you just like staring at the wall. Like, why am I like remembering that stupid thing I said like 4 years ago, like on a phone call with my realtor? Like, who cares? They don't care. But it's like, but I can't stop thinking about like, what is wrong with me? And that kind of crafted that song into something way more interesting than what it actually is.
Your realtor's
usually
thinking about
that
you
trail
all the
of
time.
thoughts. Usually that trail of thought process is what I tell my therapist. He says, Lizzie, that's anxiety. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe, but also listen, it could be innovation.
Innovation.
It's both. It's both. For me, it's definitely both. I almost feel like if I would be afraid if I like cured my anxiety, because what would I write about? What would I sing about all the days long?
If you title a song "Anxious Innovation," I think that's fair. I think you're allowed to do that now. You now own that.
Oh yeah. I'm writing it down right now.
Good.
There we go.
There we go.
Anxious Innovation.
It's gonna come up.
I have a little
list.
Tell us a little bit about Sorry, I'm a Downer. I know it just came out on the 17th, so it's fairly new, but how How did it come to you? What is it about? All the normal stuff.
Honestly, I think that song started, I had those chords in my head and I was just like, these are cool chords. Da, 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 da. I thought it sounded very like ethereal. Kind of reminded me of like an old, like a Roger and Hammerstein's kind of musical number, but also like ominous. Like it sounds like it could very well turn into Metallica song either way.
Yeah.
So I was having fun with that. And then that melody just launched itself out. Like I think I heard that melody in my head and I wrote the lyrics within like 5 minutes for the chorus. And then I just sat on that chorus for like 2 weeks. I had just like the instrumental of the verses and that chorus. And I was like, we have like 11 other songs that like could really go next after the album. Like, do we really want to do like a brand new song? And yes, we did. The answer was yes. Because I just kept coming back to that chorus. And then one day I was just like, I'm just going to finish it. And if I finish the song and I'm happy with it, we'll put it out. And if I finish the song and it's not better than like, cause we do have like 11 other demos that are completely finished at this point. So yeah, I finished it and I was like, this has to be out. Cause I wish I had put it out on the album. It's very like quarantine specific in ways. It's playing with that, like that idea of, I feel like everybody felt this way. I feel like I came into quarantine and just in general, I used to be a much bubblier person. Like, I feel like I used to be nicer and funnier and just generally like a joy to be around. And like lately, I just feel like kind of an asshole all the time.
I totally
and I don't want to feel that way.
Yeah.
It's not, but so that song was really like me kind of owning up to that and really apologizing to myself and also forgiving myself for being this way. Cause it's a lot more complicated than just like, I don't think I'm going to be this way forever. And as long as I can give myself that chance to kind of push through it, anything's possible or something.
Or something. What was the
I like to tell myself it's a hopeful song.
Yeah, I think it is. Like, it reminded me of, putting in myself into the song, right? It's like being at a party and you're like, shit, I just like, I want to be a part of the party, but whenever anybody asks me a question about myself, it's really hard for me to find something positive to say back. I'm assuming that that's like where the like birthday party, like the hat and the balloons come from. Cause I was like looking at it, I'm like, God, that's a really cool image. Yeah. That's a really cool vibe for it. Just like the birthday party. And you're like, I'm so fucking sad.
Yeah, there was kind of that. Oh, I'm going to close this door after all. There was this, at first we had an idea of like literally getting like a group of kids, like 5th graders to come and like just have a pool party in my backyard and then have us like just like in the pool with our instruments being like super bummed out. And then just logistically, that wasn't going to work.
I was about to say, do you know a bunch of 5th graders?
Anyone have access to a bunch of 5th graders?
If anyone has access to a bunch of 5th graders, yeah.
That's the weirdest Craigslist post I've ever heard of.
Hey guys, I just need you to come. Like, they can have a pool party. It's fine, but we're going to be playing really sad music, so you're going to have to be okay with it. But you know what? They're going to be hyped up on sugar, and they'll be able to sleep later at the night. It's fine. We all win.
Report that post. Absolutely. Report that Craigslist post immediately. Just report that, please.
I do think, I think that was a big thing with Downer is that it is like lyrically a sad song, but it's so major. It's like, it's in this like major key. I think it's C major, 120 beats per minute. It is like the generic pop song. Like when you sit down at a piano and play your first pop song, it's those chords. It's the basic tempo when you start a DAW. It's really a simple song. And I think if you just listen to it without really thinking, like, what does this mean? Then you would just think it's like a feel-good pop song. Like, if you didn't really listen to those lyrics, you'd probably be like, yeah, sorry, I'm down there. But like, then you like think about it, and it's like, wait, this dude's talking about like killer feelings and things like that. That this might be a little bit more under the hood.
Isn't that a lot of like emo and pop songs though? It's like you feel like it's a really like bubbly, happy song, and then you like look at it and you go, oh no.
You're like, wow, we're actually all really
boy.
fucking sad.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like we just had we had a lot of like very straightforward ballads that were just I mean, not to throw someone else under the bus, but that one is kind of just sad the whole way through. Like, and it's got that very epic driving chorus, but it's just a sad song. It's kind of a bummer of a song. You have to be in a mood for it. And I wanted a song that I could listen to, you know, when I'm in a bad mood or when I'm in a good mood, and the song could just be it could just exist and fit both moods, because it's hard to like want to listen to. I mean, for me personally, sometimes I just want to listen to like something happy and sappy and silly and easy to consume. And some days I need to like listen to like the entire new Architects record in one sitting. And those are two different moods. But for me, I just felt like we didn't have any of those like classic, like pop punk, like really driving, happy sounding major key. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what are they saying again? What are they saying about?
Like, whoa, guys, slow down.
Hold on.
Some sounds
Wait a second. So yeah, that was a huge aspect of that, is like I'm digging into this. I want people to really feel like it's the 2000s, like again with this music. Like I want people to unironically be listening to pop punk again, because there was a period when like Fall Out Boy and Panic, that was what everybody listened to. It felt like there wasn't like any like scene, so to speak. It had been like kind of mainstream.
Yeah.
So
I think even now that it is kind of more mainstream, like we see like at least on TikTok. So I'm on like the alt emo side of TikTok, pop punk TikTok. And you'll see people like joke around and be like, we need to start gatekeeping again. But then you see people who are like vehemently like, we need to gatekeep because all these new artists are coming out and like the new types of MGK people who aren't in the scene. And I'm like, I need everybody to calm the fuck down. Like for 5 minutes.
Gatekeeping.
It is so good that it's back in there. Like I could tell people I listen to pop punk and I don't have to explain myself in like 20 different ways. I could tell people I listen to emo and I don't have to explain it in 20 different ways. Like it's just easier, I feel, for everybody. Plus a lot of like, you know, friends that you have are starting to break again into the mainstream and like get that big popularity that like we haven't seen since like, you know, the Fall Out Boy, early Panic at the Disco days. And it's supposed to be a really good thing, but people are making it out to be more of a problem because they want that I'm better than everybody because I only listen to this. I don't listen to like Miley Cyrus. It's like, listen, Miley Cyrus is great.
Miley Cyrus is so fucking good. How dare you?
Bangers was an incredible record, and that was like 2 records ago. Like she's done several more since then.
Yeah.
So I have heard people be so upset that she did the most recent like 80s covers album, and I said her voice can do it though. Like it sounds good.
She's so good.
But it's people like that, and I think the fact that we have a resurgence of it and like the mainstream is good for everybody involved.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could get behind, or I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't get behind the whole like vehemently hating MGK thing. Because, well, first of all, when MGK put out the song with Kellen, it tripled our monthly listeners. So that was pretty useful. Thank you, MGK, for that. Which might have been a coincidence because the song is Love Race and we're Loveless and we had a Kellen feature.
Yeah.
But there we go.
There was definitely like a surge in interest in the genre and in our band in particular after he put out that album and after he put out those like new singles. So look, if you don't like him or his music, I think that's perfectly fine. There are some very, very respectable reasons not to. With that being said, I don't think we should be gatekeeping like if it's real pop. Like, what do you mean real pop punk? Like it's always been like a punk with pop with like that sheen, which is always going to like feel somewhat inauthentic because it's punk with autotune, and it has been for 20 years. He didn't invent that. He didn't start that. He's late. So I don't understand why people are like MGK this or that. he's just another guy. And quite frankly, there are better artists and there will be bigger artists.
Mhm.
But right now he's kind of carrying the torch for this genre in the mainstream. And I think it would be a damn shame if we just like cut ourselves out of the mainstream just because we don't like MGK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we've said it many times. We're not huge fans of MGK. We are huge fans of Tickets to My Downfall. So
that's a great point. And like, I love Travis Barker. Like, that's something that like I will never feel bad about saying.
Yeah.
Good for him with landing a Kardashian. Like I
think he's doing great.
You seem fine,
he's doing
man.
great. He went on a plane the other day, which I thought was
good for
incredible.
him.
Like, yeah. So I just think there's so many incredible people involved in that product. Should I pick up this FaceTime video from Kyle Black?
Sure.
Kyle Black is a producer for State Champs.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Hey Kyle,
I'm doing a podcast right now. What's up?
Oh no.
You are. Do you want to say hi to the Emo Social Club?
Hey, Emo Social Club.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Kyle?
They say hi. Can I call you back in like 30 minutes?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Bye. Yeah, so we're doing a couple songs. We're doing a couple songs with Kyle Black.
That's
in case
awesome.
anyone was wondering.
Yeah, there we go.
And he did like Around the World and Back Again, that State Champs record with Secrets and all that. So
all the hits.
Big fan. Yeah, big fan of this guy. He's
very nice.
That record was like what got me back into pop punk. I think I had fallen off a little bit. I was like kind of more like in the pop or the active rock world. And then when Secrets came out, I was like, okay, I can get behind this. I can get behind like this new age. It was like a little bit like punchier, but it wasn't full like Knuckle Puck. Like it was still very melodic. No offense to Knuckle Puck, but they just yell a lot more than State Champs.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
So yeah, it's sorry. I just wanted to pick that one.
No, yeah, that's funny. Awesome. Yeah.
Again, we've had people roll in late. We have people with their pets. Whatever works, it adds some flair.
Random babies.
Oh, Oliver was in here for a moment, but he left when he realized I wasn't going to feed him.
Oliver.
Oh. Oliver.
We have a little. If he comes back, I'll bring him on camera. He's a little white thing.
Oh.
Like me. Same.
It does like you're saying with like getting you back into pop punk. I do feel like there was that period of time in like late 2000s, early 2010s, maybe like through the middle of the 2010s, where it's like it like went real EDM really fast for a lot of the people in rock music, and it was like, no, I want to make dubstep, and then it's like, okay, now I want to make pop music, and like there was this weird like amalgamation of like all these kids that had GarageBand and were recording themselves playing guitar, figured out how to like make wobbles, and they're like, this is it, I'm just gonna produce a bunch of this shit. And like, I mean, that was me. A B.
Same, but at the same time, like that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's very interesting to think that like a lot of the people who grew up like loving pop punk, loving emo, loving like post-hardcore, then got into like all electronic music, and then they're like coming back to pop punk music now, I think. And like you're saying, it's State Champs get you back into it. People are like, oh, hey, this record's really good, or like, MGK is getting people back into like putting live guitars in hip hop music, or back and forth putting trap drums in pop punk. And it's like, yeah, this is kind of how it should be. Like the gatekeeping thing doesn't make sense to me, because it's like you're just taking every bit of music from all different types of genres and putting it together. That's the best thing you can do. That's awesome. Why would you take that away from us?
No, absolutely. There's kind of like, why willingly allow yourselves to like be stagnant and like kind of to just, to me, I think it's easier to kind of like cut everybody off and gatekeep. I think that's the easy way out, because you don't have to explain anything. You don't ever have to try anything new. And you certainly don't have to like, bring new people to the genre if you're actively keeping them out. So I think it's silly, it's stupid, it's counterproductive. I'm very thankful that I'm not like running in the same circle as a lot of those people,
Mhm.
because I feel like it's so counterintuitive to what like rock music should be. It should be a lot more collaborative. I'm sick and tired of like the bands that pretend like they have to write everything. Like, I don't care if Crown the Empire has ghostwriters. I just wish they would credit the dude. Like, that's the
True.
only thing that I
Yeah.
have a problem with. Like, when they were like, well, like that was like our facade. I'm like, that's not a gimmick. That's just like not being writers. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But like, collaboration should be celebrated, not shut down, not like hidden. People shouldn't have to like fight tooth and nail to get their name on a Spotify list,
Yeah.
which I've had to do several times with artists that were like, we don't think you deserve that credit because you're not in the band. Like, I wrote your song for you, dude.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Oof.
So I think that doesn't happen in pop music.
no.
Like, Kanye
Yeah.
West will have 20 songwriters and 14 producers on a song and not give a shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's respectful and that's respectable.
Is it?
I think it's also so like normalized though. Like, remember those terrible memes? It's like, why does this Beyonce single ladies song have like 20
Yeah.
producers and writers? But then you have Pierce the Veil and it's just a band, and you're like, well, is it actually? And then
Yeah.
as we find out more later on, especially with like Brian's bestie, Mr. John Feldman, a lot of our favorite artists and our favorite albums were mainly ghost written by
Yeah.
him predominantly.
Yeah. Or at least like, as far as his producing style goes, because I don't know any producer or like person of my ilk who wasn't obsessed or currently is obsessed with Feldman, because he just did so many iconic records.
Mhm.
But he was really hands-on, and that was something that I think people didn't realize or didn't care to realize. Like, you don't just send a band out to like go on the beach and record in the middle of the night. Like, people didn't do that. People don't do that, but he did that with the Used.
Mhm.
He would just like send them out. Like, they would just take a mobile rig out and just like write and record on the beach. And like, that's the kind of thing that like people don't do anymore. And people don't like try and push. Like, nowadays, I think producers are very like in out, let's get this done.
Mhm.
It's way less creative. There's no like fun ideas. And I think he was always this like great ideas man that I don't know how I got into that from songwriting, but he's just so good. Feldman is just so good. Why wouldn't you credit him? I think that blows my mind. Why wouldn't you credit him? What a cool name to have on your record.
Yeah.
Like, look at 5 Seconds of Summer. They credited him on all of those co-writes. They also credited, Mike Deuce from Lower Than Atlantis. He wrote on, I think, She Looks So Perfect. Like, he's credited. Like, how come the pop bands can do it? But these, like, we have rock bands like, Pierce the Veil and Crown the Empire and other guys who are talented writers and talented musicians in their own right. But it's like, come on, guys, like, show a little love for your team.
I think it's still contributing in the whole, like, we have to do everything ourselves to be like seen as
Yeah.
like real in the scene, which I think is ridiculous in like the year of 2021.
Nothing is real. It's all fake.
Nothing is real.
It's all
yeah.
fake.
Unless it's
Everybody,
real.
nobody wrote "How Can I Just Forget You" without somebody else behind you. Okay, listen.
Oh, come on. That was such a good song.
I land on two
Now it's
sides
going to
of
be
this.
stuck in my head.
Like,
What's up?
I land on two sides of this issue because part of me says that there is like this perceived authenticity of a band when they write everything themselves. Like, it's so important that they write it themselves, or that they go into a studio with a producer and they're like, this is who is going to make us sound like this. Feldman's one of them. Joey Sturgis is another one who recorded like Devil Wears Prada and like all these bands that they're like, if we go into the studio with Joey Sturgis, we are going to come out sounding this way. We want to work with him because of that. But there's not that, like, that is still authentic. Like, that in itself is authentic because you're going into the studio with a producer. If you have somebody else write on your record, if you have somebody write a chorus, if you have somebody write this thing, no, that's not authentic. And I just think that's like really strange. On the other hand, I also don't want a band to go into the studio with John Feldman and end up just sounding like another John Feldman record, because
Oh my
then
God.
it's not the band, it's John Feldman. So I think there's a middle ground where it's like, this is a person who is an artist in their own right. They can create something on their own, but they are creating art with this person or these people behind them. And of course, credit needs to go where credit is due, because everybody also, money's involved. So I'll just do the little hand symbol for money right here. For the people watching, hands of money. Yeah, like you still need to create art that is from the person that is creating it. If that's just John Feldman saying, hey, come on into the studio, I'm going to record you a John Feldman record. If it's just Joey Sturgis saying, hey, come on in, I'm going to make you a Joey Sturgis record, then it's not the artist. Then it could just be, cookie cutter, like, come on in, get out. And that, I think, was what everybody thought pop music was, without remembering that, like, the Sex Pistols were a band that was found and they just put them together and said, here you go. One guy wrote all the songs and everybody else faked it. So that's the Sex Pistols. Everything is fake. Everything is made up. Points don't matter. So I mean, it's like, it's no less authentic.
Whose song is it anyway?
Yeah. Whose song is it anyway would be a great title for a game show where you have to guess the song.
Oh, I'd love that. I would love, like, I still think that they should have more like scene TV shows and like rock focused competition shows like that.
Make a note. We're
how cool
making
would
it.
it be to watch like Chopped, but it's producers and you get like, or bands even, and you get like, here are 4 instruments, or like, here's like 4 like non-musical things that you have to include in these songs or in this production. I think that would be so fun.
Hell yeah.
And instead we have the Great British Bake Off season 347.
Yeah.
Which is great too.
Look,
but Fuse used to have stuff like that like a long time ago. I remember one that I remember watching. And it was called like Last Chance or something like that, like Last Song. And the whole premise was like this redemption, quote unquote redemption arc of somebody who was like down and out on their luck. A lot of them were like, oh, I'm like in recovery from like drug alcohol abuse. And they would just put them in and be like, okay, now you have to sing and show that like you can be like this rock artist. And it was basically like the rock version and like recovery version of like American Idol. And they would have people do these different types of challenges. It was very weird. I remember there was one, and her name is Mixie, and she still is like in a rock band now called Stitched Up Heart. And I really liked her and her style. But like overall, this premise is like the most chaotic. And I feel like that's how we would start back into it.
Oh my
Oh
like
God.
someone from MTV
Absolutely.
said, hey guys, you remember how this worked? You remember? And it's gonna be like, guys, this was not good.
Oh yeah, MTV. That's another one. I wish that MTV would go back to making more music content. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
They are, but only do digital streaming, not through
Interesting.
their own, not through their station. So they obviously have their station programmed, but because they don't want to lose like their very baseline viewers, and they don't want to experiment with losing it. People who watch Rob Dyrdek ridiculousness, I don't.
How do you have an entire network dedicated to ridiculousness? That's all that
honestly
is.
Ridiculous.
It's kind of incredible. Like, I remember that show. Like, it's been around for a while now.
Yeah.
He's making a bunch of money now, which is like, who still watches that show?
Look, I'm
who
not
watches
mad at it.
ridiculousness and say this is the peak of like comedy cinema.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not mad at
Josh
it. But
Pino
like,
isn't on air
stop.
anymore. We're done with it, guys. We're done with the reacts.
All YouTube is React content. Like, it's basically, how do we make YouTube a TV show with a skateboarder?
Yeah.
MTV.
Which is, I guess, a vibe. Tosh.0 tried it too.
Yeah.
And but that's another show that I was like, how are they still running?
Yeah.
Like, I could just go on the internet.
Literally, the
And find
internet is
somebody
here.
Somebody to
probably
do it for me.
funnier.
Hey,
That's also a big thing.
can this skateboarder just show me YouTube? Can I just like let this one guy just show me YouTube? And then can I have like people that aren't that funny sit there and laugh at his jokes, but also then
And have
not
like the
contribute?
most annoying laughs.
Yeah. Okay.
And like the most
Okay, wow,
bad
yeah.
input.
All right. Let's lay off Chanel. Okay. She's not the worst.
I didn't say any names. I just
I
said
know who
annoying
you're
laughs.
talking
And
about.
that's your
We all know.
conclusion.
We
That's on
all
you.
know. I know you're talking shit about Chanel West Coast, and I will not have it here.
Interesting.
I will
Okay.
not have it here. Thank you. Look, I can't hate on the show. It's doing well. I liked it when I watched it. I just think it's ridiculous that you have so much of it.
That's, to me, like, they air it for like 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
And it's like,
No,
how do you...
They air it almost like for 22 hours.
It's just too much. I think it's
just
too
too
much.
much. Listen, Brian, it's too much. You can only hear Chanel West Coast have a terrible reaction to one too many times. Which one is too many times?
Chanel West Coast is like a goddamn millionaire just from laughing whatever she laughs on that TV show. I'm all about it. Give it to her.
Anyway, MTV is going to bring stuff back, but only digitally. So we all have to get the Viacom MTV subscription on whatever the fuck you use to stream.
Yeah. I don't know your age, Julian, and it's rude to
I'm
ask.
25.
Okay. I'm 34.
True to ask a lady.
True to ask a lady. I am 34, so I'm very close to death. I'm at the end of my lifespan.
All right, let's get you in your retirement home.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, come on, old man. It's all right. We'll go hobble you over.
Yeah, I'm preceding a sentence that's about to sound back in my day, so I wanted to make sure that I prefaced it with my age, how much older I am than everybody else in the call, and also let everybody in the chat know too, I guess.
So the real treat is whenever I talk about something and I'm like, wow, this 34-year-old, and Brian's like, Lizzie, I'm right here. I'm like, not
Lizzie?
you, another one that is more annoying.
Yeah. Look, I'm a very youthful, I don't know. Anyway.
Now you sound like
old.
An old man.
Maddie.
I would not have guessed. I would have not guessed
Thank
at
you.
all. I would have thought 20s for
Thank
sure.
you. I have a filter on my video though, so that's probably why.
The baby face.
Yeah, I have it's a Snapchat filter I installed to make me look cool. So I was listening to this podcast the other day, and they're talking about bands like Blink, Green Day, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Deftones, My Chem, and it's like a lot of these bands hit because they were on MTV. It's like everybody found these artists because they saw their videos, they saw what they looked like, they saw the stuff, and knowing that like it's not MTV curating it anymore and it's just YouTube now, I feel like it's still the same thing, right? Like videos are still the way people are finding music in a lot of ways because they love seeing how somebody looks. They love seeing how the band looks and what they're doing visually, but we don't have that like kind of curation. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So
it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah.
I think with Spotify, for instance, that it's really hard because Spotify has made it possible for bands that are in the middle of nowhere to theoretically make a living wage off of music. But it's really hard work. And quite frankly, getting on those editorials is a guessing game. 90% of the time, even for signed acts, they aren't sure when that's going to happen. So like these things are not set in stone, and like who gave these people the power to be curators? You know, who gave them this knowledge? And I know some of them are definitely like in demand people in this industry who've worked for years. Ali Hagendorf, the global head of rock at Spotify, is, she worked for years at like Capitol Records and MTV, I think. So she's definitely had like a illustrious career curating and kind of bringing rock music to the masses. But like, who's under her? Like, what's that team look like? Are they young? Are they old? Like, do they prefer a businessman's pitch, or do they want like, the human experience? And the honest question and answer to that is, I don't know, and I don't know.
Music has always been, I don't know.
It is so diverse. As somebody who works in radio and seeing how all these different alternative radio stations across the board, from Anomalies, like the ones that is here in Chicago that I work with, that is basically like vintage rock, but it's considered alternative, to regular like alternative rock radio like K-Rock, and seeing who is in charge of there is like, you're pulling teeth with them, because they're like, I absolutely do not want to play like any new type of music because I don't deem that as alternative. Alternative's just 90s grunge for a lot of these people still, but those people in charge are like Gen Xers for the most part now, saying, no, this is what the kids want.
Yeah.
And then us kids are still very low on the totem pole. We're like, please listen to us. And that's how it actually works, everybody.
Yeah, growing up with K-Rock has been a blessing and a curse because I really, I have this unique appreciation for how small our scene is and how it is, like when I used to tell people like, well, who's this band? They'd be like, well, they're like a massive rock band. I'm like, well, I don't hear them on the radio. They're like, they're always on Octane. I'm like,
oh God, Octane.
Octane Radio.
Like, and no offense to Octane. Octane's an incredible station, and they have like, I really enjoy the fact that like Sirius can play like fuck bombs.
Yeah.
Because like it's kind of like we had to do a radio edit for Downer, and that was a pain in the ass. Because Tyler was in Michigan working on a band that I can't mention.
Ooh.
Yeah, there we go. And and he was like literally on the plane. And I was sending him files and he was like, I wonder if I can download this with my plane Wi-Fi and send you a master. Because we were trying to get it like out as fast as possible and I didn't even think about it because I was like, we don't usually go for radio. So I just didn't even think about it. But yeah, we had to ask like last minute to get the radio edit. And anyways, Octane is fine. But when I say like that band doesn't play on the radio, I mean, can they break into K-Rock? And I think there are very few bands, especially in the rock world, that are like capable of doing that right now. A lot of them, the main reason is because they just won't collaborate. Like straight up, there are some really incredible bands that are close to breaking through that scene. Like, I don't even hear Bring Me on K-Rock, which is crazy to me.
It is very hard to find clean edits of their songs. First of all, that is my issue.
Good on them.
Good to know. Good to know.
I fucking love Bring
I
Me
wonder if
Back.
they do that explicitly.
You'll hear them on Octane and Sirius because you can get away with it because that's a digital like signal rather than terrestrial. That's why they can get away with it. But I don't know if that's intentional because you won't hear Bring Me the Horizon like anywhere on any other terrestrial radio stations. I think it might be intentional because they want to swear.
It might be a UK thing too because they don't have to do that as much in the UK. So if they're on European radio, they're probably just like, nope, that's our radio one. Like we have tons of radio play over in the UK and Europe, so we don't have to really worry about American radio play because they're still selling out every tour they do here. So
yeah,
they're doing fine.
It's true.
I think Bring Me the Horizon's doing okay.
Can you swear on British terrestrial radio? Like, do they have FM, AM? Can you swear on that over there?
They basically have public radio, which is all of what they have. So they have like BBC 1, 2, 3, that type of thing. So they don't have technically AM, FM frequency. So I think it depends. Like if you're going for that edgier thing, like if you had like BBC One, like they work with Creeper a lot. I love Creeper and they sometimes have some swears very, very rarely. But I think if it's like something normal, like they'll say like bloody, I think that's okay to get out on air for the most part. I think it's contextual. I think it's like contextual. Depends like person to person and situation to situation. Like I don't think they can say like the C word. Like they can't say like cunt on air, for example. Yeah. You can't say that anywhere on air. But I think they have limitations.
That's the one swear word I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah.
My mom. I can say anything else. I could probably, I don't want to test it, but I can say some terrible things as long as I don't say that word.
I swear to God, I'm gonna have to mute this whole thing. Mute the stream.
The next 15 minutes of this are just gonna be us seeing how much we can get away with.
Is this a Blink
Your mom
song?
is FaceTiming you right now. Like, I swear to God.
I heard somebody say it. Yeah. Oh God.
We're gonna have a lot of our UK friends like responding to this and being like, you can't say this there, but I've watched TV, like main broadcast stations in the UK, and it's like swearing, violence, nudity, like it's everything. So they're like very not as they were not Puritans that founded those countries. They're like, you do whatever you want over there. We're just gonna show people shit, like kids will learn. Like it's fine. You can drink at 18. It's all good.
And honestly, I think that's why the UK like pop punk and the UK rock scene is like so alive and so well right
Yeah.
now. There are so many great bands coming out of that area. It's incredible. Like my favorite band in the world right now is Hot Milk.
Oh no,
And,
they
like,
hit. They hit.
Can't get over the name, but I love the music.
I love the name. I think it's brilliant. I think it's like Foo Fighters. I love a stupid band name.
okay.
I wish we had come up with a stupider one. Our name is only stupid in that there are 37 other Lovelesses. So we should name our band the 38th Loveless, really.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But no, I love them. I obviously love Bring Me and Architects and Stand Atlantic. They're Australian, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I believe
Close
so.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
They say no funny. They say nar.
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 It's all
I
of
love
the
it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
English based, countries, and I mean it's generally easier for us to listen to English based music, although I do think there's a lot of other non-English based sorry, I'm on like this Squid Game kick right now because I'm like,
Oh, have we all finished
so
Squid
fucking
Game? I
good.
actually watched it last night because I needed my brain to go burr.
Yeah,
for a
no
bit.
spoilers, but
I haven't even started it.
dude, so fucking good. So fucking
I don't
good.
watch TV anymore. I wish I did. I don't.
Dude,
really
I don't
consume
either.
media that isn't-
I literally was like, somebody tell me what to do because I have no idea what's going on because I was like sick and I'm like watching it and I'm like, is this what it feels like to just like not think about it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I had to
I've
go
heard
head
really good
empty
things
for that.
about it.
It's so good.
It's very good.
Really
Yeah.
good.
And I do actually. I don't mind dubbed shows because I'm used to watching things, or not dubbed, but like subtitled shows because I'm used to watching things with subtitles. So I feel like it would be like very easy to just kind of be like, all right, let's see some people get killed. I'm trying to think of what I can say without spoiling anything.
Yeah, I mean that's episode
I mean,
1.
like it's
I
pretty.
feel like
Yeah,
if
it's
you
pretty
don't
up
know,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By now, yeah.
It's in the trailer for the show,
I will say,
which I haven't seen that
I
either.
didn't realize it was supposed to be subtitled and or dubbed, and I like had subtitles on, and then it was automatically dubbed. I didn't get an option. I was like, "What the hell's going on here?" It took me like an episode and a half to be like, "Oh,
Are we about to have
this is weird.
sub
I don't
versus
like
dub
this.
argument?
I think subs are the way to go. But
yeah." I
do
usually do subtitles. I don't know how I got the dub version, and I couldn't figure out how to change it. And I said, "You know what? We're rolling with it," and it was just fucking weird the entire time.
Yeah, the Netflix dubs are really weird because they like try to like match the the timing of it, but not always do they match the actual words they're saying.
Mhm.
Like you can sometimes really tell that it's like thanks, but they're like
In Squid Game, there was this one, and it was one of the women, and she was yelling, and it said, "Oh, you're just being a bastard," but like in the subtitle version, it was "You're being a fucker," and I'm like, "All right, guys, why couldn't we just substitute? This is all fine. I don't
say
understand."
fuck a lot in the show too, so it's not even like a language thing. It's just I don't know what that is. Here's what I know about voice acting. This is literally the one thing I know about voice acting like this is that they are very specific that it has to be very close to the original, like Japanese, Korean, whatever it is, to match up with that. So it is like very strange for us, but it's because they want to keep it very close to the original Japanese, and it's just not. We are not going to speak the same as somebody in any Asian country. So when you just like dub it, it's like, yeah, just got to go with it. Like watching it with my girlfriend, she's like, this is weird. And I'm like, yeah, just, you know, Japanese, Korean, Chinese dubs, like they're all going to be this way. Like you just got to go. Show's great. Show's so much fun. Just live it out,
Hell yeah. Well, now I feel like I need to watch it because everybody I know has been like telling me to get on it. I know that all the Sirens boys are like really into it. So
it is on track to be the most watched Netflix show ever of all of their shows.
Wow, already?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
It came out like 2 weeks ago and it's just blown up. And I do think it's because that like international hit of it, like that kind of brings it to a lot more audiences. Just how I got on like the non-English speaking like thing. And like, it's just because like all of this is integrating with the internet. All of it is like integrating with people from all around the world and all different backgrounds. And like, I do think the rock scene benefits from having some of that coming into it. This is kind of my thought of like we were talking about before, is like everything from everywhere blending together is exactly how it should be, exactly how we need to, like, bringing in these influences from different backgrounds, different cultures, different races, different ethnicities, different everything. So it's like, yeah, just put it all in there, put it in rock music, have people that don't just fucking look like me playing guitars. We're good. We're set.
That is actually a huge thing that I feel like I can say this and it won't be like taken in out of like context, but
should I get my deep button ready?
Like we're looking for no, we're good on that. I like we've been in like discussions about figuring out how we're gonna play live, and I'm not gonna lie, I've had quite a few people, like friends of mine and like just like people I know in the scene who have like reached out saying they'd be interested. And oh my God, they are all white dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one. And I don't want you. No offense. No offense. I'm white enough for the whole band. We don't need any more. Because quite frankly, I don't feel like that's like going to give any new like intelligence, like emotional intelligence to the band if it's just another white dude from LA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's the lived experience? Like, where's the like? I guarantee you there are like probably 4 funk bassists that are like white dudes from LA that I actually would want to play with. We're really looking for like a finger style. Like, I want a finger style bassist, and most of the people I'm finding are like white dudes that suck. I mean, they're fine, but they're boring.
They could be better.
Yeah,
but they're not giving their all.
They could be better, or they could at least be more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my hot take of the day.
You're gonna take that hot take straight to Twitter, and someone's gonna be immediately mad at you.
Good.
So it's gonna be immediately.
I've tried to like, because we're really genuinely looking for members, and like I did find one drummer that I'm really excited about, and she's amazing, but still white. But it's all good.
How do you go about like if anybody, I hope somebody's listening who would be interested, who is a non-white drummer, bassist, whomever
from the LA area,
but how would somebody go about like putting that out there? Like, if there are people that
send us an email.
Okay. But like,
if you're send us an email right away.
If you're in the scene, if you're somebody who is like a non-white musician and you are in the scene and you are having trouble breaking through, how would you say like somebody anywhere in the country could just like put their information out there, put that out there, and like get in with somebody? Because I think a lot of people are like you, where it's like, I want to work with somebody who's not me because I want these other ideas and I want to showcase other people.
I think there's like a big fear tokenization too that comes with it. So it's very much like a delicate line. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen some like PR and like social media companies that work with like a lot of like music industries or artists. And they're specifically saying, I want non-men POC individuals to apply only. I don't want anybody else. And now I've obviously seen people's reply and they're like, oh, like, that's rude. That's discriminating. First of all, you can't be discriminating against if you're fucking white. Okay. Like, let's get that out of the way. But I think there are ways like that, just being like definitive, like, you know, we want these types of individuals. We don't want anything else. We want to have more voices and more diversity going on.
Yeah. I think it's especially important to me right now, because I've seen firsthand. I have like so many incredibly talented friends that I've met like just in the last couple like months and in the last couple like 2 years. My friend Hansel is like, they are incredible.
Love Hansel.
And their band
so good.
Nightlife is fucking so good, and and I want a little bit. I want to be half as good as they are.
Yeah.
You have to put out the Hooba. You have to become a Hoobastank stan.
Yeah.
And that's how you get it.
Hansel is a huge Hoobastank fan.
They're from our neighborhood. So
oh my God.
Look.
Yeah, they went to my local high school.
Get on that Hooba train, man.
Just tweet out, be like, "Hey Hansel, I was just talking with Emo Social Club, and I found out you're a Hooba stan." So,
Ooh, I think we've definitely had that conversation before.
oh my god,
because that's something I would have brought up because
I
they're from the San Fernando Valley,
Yeah.
which is where I'm staying right now.
I got a concert update from work. They're like, "Hey, don't put out this concert calendar because Hooba Stank had to cancel because of a COVID outbreak." I said, "Wow, I hope Hansel's doing okay."
I hope Hansel's okay.
Oh no.
We hear Hoobastank and we're worried about Hansel, not Hoobastank.
I mean, they're
Hooba
fine.
stan-
They have a reason or whatever. They have
Yeah,
a
you know
reason
what?
Oh
to
my
be
god.
okay.
You know what? The reason is you. So
Yeah, the reason is that check is going to pay for their kids to go to college.
Oh, absolutely.
we really like with bad band names or dumb band names, like you were saying before. Like, I don't like Hot Milk. It's like, yeah, I don't like Hoobastan, but Hoobastank. That's not actually their name. Hoobastank. I don't like that band name, but like, damn, we really let that band name like sway us from some pretty good tunes. Like, that is a good band.
Definitely. I mean, I think the only problem with them is that the reason was so good that it was an immediate one-hit wonder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a music choice, adult, contemporary.
Yep.
This is going to play in grocery stores until the day I die.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's
Which
almost
is,
similar to like
incredible.
any Red Hot Chili Pepper songs. Like, I'm going to hear this for the rest of my life, whether I like it or not, and I don't understand why, but I have to accept it. I have to accept it.
I think there's some sort of like musicality in, I think it goes back to having not a bunch of white dudes in your band. Red Hot Chili Peppers just has such a diverse like range of hits. Like, they all like, there are several that do, like, especially if you grew up on K-Rock, you'll recognize quite a few of those songs as being a little bit formulaic, but those albums, man, front to back usually have like 4 or 5 incredibly different and just as good songs. Like, every single record they put out for, what is it, 25 years now?
Yeah.
And that's some fucking stuff right there. That's cool.
I found out they had 4 records before anything they did in the 90s. They like put out records in the 80s, and they're all like
Really?
punk.
I bet they're pretty good. Honestly, I bet it's pretty cool.
Did not like them. I'll say this. So their first like bigger breakout one was
like rough.
It's punk, and I like some punk, but like, there's got to be something that isn't just so shitty about it. Like, it sounds shitty. Like,
are we talking like 80s like thrash?
No, we're talking like 80s like punk rock, and like with a funk bassist, and everyone is on drugs constantly. They're just super strung out all the time.
Yeah,
that's a part of it.
That's a lot of booger sugar.
Yeah,
going on.
Yeah,
during those records,
they had a lot of people say we're not going to work with them because they're too high all the time. Like, and yeah, one of I think it was the guitarist died of a drug overdose like after 3 of those records, and then Frusciante came in, and then it was like a whole other thing. This is how far I got in that 3 hour and 40-minute podcast about the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
My God.
So
I could watch one of those about
so
like
much.
Sleeping with Sirens. I don't know if I could do Red Hot Chili
You
Peppers.
have to be a real like ride or die Red Hot Chili Pepper stan.
I am
like 100%.
Which is weird to me, because as much as I say they are incredible, it's like in the same way that I think the Beatles are incredible.
Yeah,
like they are a case study on doing good music. That doesn't mean I have to listen to it or enjoy it.
Yeah,
right.
Yes, because
you can listen to it one time and be like, it's like going to see like a painting, like, which I'm sure some people love doing repeatedly, but like, I feel like when I've seen like a Monet one time, that's enough times. Like, I've seen
like,
Monet.
You say like Mona Lisa once, like I've never seen Mona Lisa once, but I feel like
I was gonna say Mona Lisa, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So I
I'd be like, she looks chill. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, what else do I do?
In a
with
way, Blood Sugar Sex Magic is the Monet of our time.
Oh my God.
In that I don't really get it, and I'm not going to pay for that.
In that they are red
people
hot.
enjoy it, and I'm just gonna let it go because it's there.
You know what?
Let people enjoy things, especially.
Yeah, give it away now,
when
okay,
it
guys?
matter.
Just,
Jesus
just
Christ.
give it away now.
Hey, give it away now.
We're
Let me get a bass.
just really quickly get that out. We are at an hour. I want to make sure we have time for your plugs, and then we'll chat with Twitch a little bit, because I know you got some people here that love you and have been hyping you up in the chat while we've been talking. So where can everybody find you on the internet? Where can people email you if they're a person of color and wants to play in your band? Because yes, let's do it. Let's hype people up.
Fucking go, guys.
Yeah.
Contact at thisisloveless.com. Or you can reach out to any of our socials at thisisloveless, or my personal account at Julian Cameo, JulianComeau. And yeah, just tell me about yourself. But you know, that's really all that matters. Like, I want people that I like, that are talented, who can like bring something new to the table, that's something that I can't do. Because otherwise we could just bring on tracks, you know, we could just have backing tracks, or we could have hired guns. But I really am looking for a band, you know, for a long-term kind of, have you come in, track on the records, you know, write, tour, all that stuff. So message me. Let's be friends.
Yeah, I love that. Also stream Sorry I'm a Downer. It is on the Pop Punk's Not Dead playlist.
Yeah,
so
the Spotify playlist, which is sick.
You have that going.
I was so pumped. Thank you, Spotify, which is so funny because a week or like 2 days prior, I tweeted, like, we didn't get any editorials, but we still crushed it to like 20,000 streams in a week. And then I was like, the next day we landed an editorial.
Yeah.
And
Somebody from
I guess I
Spotify
have
was
to...
there and be like, bet.
Yeah, and so I recanted. I took that back.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we did get us Spotify editorial. Again, going back to the beginning of the conversation, those are all such a crapshoot. Like, you'll never know when you're going to get a playlist. And like, sometimes playlists will do a huge amount of numbers, and then sometimes you'll account for like 1% of your streams. So don't worry about those. If you're a young band listening who's made it through this far, stop sweating the playlists as much. They're fun. They're cool little trophies. And then 6 months later, nobody cares. So we'll focus on the music that people will care about 6 months later, regardless of if it's on
your own
playlist.
Yeah.
Also, yes, make your own playlists. We have gotten more plays from our This Is Loveless playlist than from any user submitted playlists or editorial playlists.
That's awesome.
So
yeah. So stream it, million streams by next Monday. Whenever you're listening to this, 1 million streams, please. Everybody in the chat.
Yes, if we could. Also, go follow us on Spotify, because we are crushing that follower number, and I want to get it. I want to get it real high for this next single that we're working on.
Hell yeah, I love that. Free save.
When can we anticipate this next single? If you can say.
So I can say some things. We do have a feature coming out with We Were Giants.
Ooh.
It's for Welcome to the Black Parade, the compilation album on Ghost Killer. And we're doing Welcome to the Black Parade. So I get to sing that song, which is a classic.
Yeah, it's sick. That's big. MCR.
And then we have another one with another band that is called and that one's going to come out hopefully in October, but I don't know for sure. They were talking about flying me out to New York to shoot a video, so that would be really cool. That song is super sick, and that band is super dope. I'll DM you guys about it. It's cool.
We'll find out. We'll find out in secret after.
The low key. We know, but nobody else knows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're gonna hold this over everybody we know.
Privileges. Yeah.
Well, Julian, let's keep the conversation. There are a couple questions. If you can hang out with us, I know Kyle needs you to call him back, but
oh shoot, yeah, but no, I can do that in a second.
Yeah, we'll answer a couple questions in the chat over on Twitch. So this is the end of the recording, but Julian, thank you for being on the Emo Social Club.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was so much fun. We should do it again. We should do it weekly.
Yeah,
I have nothing to promote.
Weekly chat.